tonight I'm back in my main home theater, and I thought, what a better way than to spend a Saturday night than to try to do a cheap upgrade to my home theater. So right now, I have the PB-3000s connected to the LFE cables. So I have only one out. So I'm going to run a Y cable and run it and see if I can run the towers as well. I'm not going to see. I know it's going to work, but I'm going to actually be tapping into all 4 subwoofers and see if it sounds good, or if I can even like equalize it and make it sound good. I'm going to be taking measurements with my mini DSP mic, and I'm going to try to share that with y'all. And yeah, so it's going to be pretty insane. So 4 subwoofers. I'm actually going to take some measurements of the towers by themselves, and then I'll take the measurements of. I'm just going to take measurements of the PB-3000s first, so you can see what they can take care of. I mean, to be honest, even just one of these subwoofers would pressurize this room quite easily. So now this is going to be crazy. And if I really wanted to go nuts, I could. There's an LFE connection to in the center channel as well, but I'm not going to do that because that's too much. Yeah, it probably wouldn't help too much. So the thing about the 8080s is they kind of like only go to about 35 hertz, or maybe 30 on their best day. But these guys, the PB-3000s, they hit about 18 to 16 hertz. And that's measured in my room. So I'm going to show you, once I do some measurements, I'll show you some graphs. So stay tuned. I have the receiver set to stereo. See, there you go. So one thing you wanted to do is remember to, when you're just testing the subs, you want to set the fronts as small. So the first thing I need to do is take a measurement of the PB-3000s by themselves, just to see where we are. I also went into the SVS app and took away any EQ that I'd already done, so I can see where I am without any EQ. That's actually pretty nice. So now I'm going to take a measurement of the 8080s ST to see where I am, and I'm going to try to get the I guess the volume or the dBs throughout the graphs at a similar. I don't want one to be much like overpowering another one, so I want it to kind of be smooth. So let's take a measurement. Okay, so it is higher. Maybe lower the gain a little bit on the towers. So I lowered the subwoofer gain on the towers a little bit. And let's take another measurement and see if it brings it down a bit. It's closer. So I'm going to go down a little more, and then I think I'll leave it there, and then I'll start doing some EQ while they're both plugged in. The majority of my EQ will be, well, actually all of my EQ will be done on the PB-3000s. I actually already listened to them together, and it was quite overpowering, so I kind of want to maybe have them blend a little more. So I'm going to try to do that tonight. So I lowered them a little bit, and I don't know if it was enough, so we'll see. I also don't want to lower them too much. Yeah, that's good. I think I can work with this. So let me take away some of the 2 older ones. I think this might blend in quite nicely. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and plug in the PB-3000s again and take another new measurement. So now the PB-3000s and the towers, the 8080STs, are plugged in, and let's take a measurement with them together and see what it looks like. Okay, so obviously a lot more. So this area, the kind of like gets summed up, but it kind of adds it quite nicely. Let me look at it compared to the to just the PB-3000s. Let's see that. Let's take this one away. So it kind of fills it up. So let me just look at it alone and see what I need to do. I think if I just, I mean, there's a pretty big valley here. Could probably raise this with EQ. I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to do much with this because I have tried to EQ this part, and this might be just a room issue. And but yeah, let me try to do some stuff in the SVS app and see how it looks after I mess with it a bit. So I did a quick little EQ to address this area. I set it to 26 Hertz and I gave it a boost of 6 dB. It might be too much, but let's see. Wow, that is a big difference. Look at that. Really flattens it out. I like this. This is looking much better. I'm actually quite happy. Might just leave it there. It actually gave me a good little boost here throughout. It's about 16 Hertz. I'm still above 90 decibels. Okay, so I think I'm going to just move on to this area and see if I can lift it a bit. So I'm going to try at about give it a boost at about 55 Hertz and see what that does. Okay, so I added the EQ at 55 Hertz. Let's take a measurement. Yeah, it came up a bit. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. Actually, I might be able to go to maybe 56 Hertz. Seems to be bottoming around there. So I'll try doing that. Okay, so I went to 56 Hertz, which is negligible. But I also lowered the Q factor from 4 to 3, which should, it makes the EQ less steep. So let's see. That was about the same. Again, I think this is just a room problem, room issue. I just can't. I have. This is what the PB-3000s alone what it looked like. It had a similar dip. And that was after I EQ'd as much as I could. So let me just compare. You can kind of see there is a dip. I think I took this measurement at a higher volume level, so that's why this looks higher. I'm at negative 15 on the receiver, and I think I took it around 11 and a half. So I can take a measurement and show If I take it to 11.5 or around 12, it'll be higher probably or the same. So I'll show you that. It's a little, let's see, this matches up pretty close, but obviously this is going to be a bit higher because this is where the super towers kind of come in and help out a bit. So I want to look at my. I'm going to get rid of this last one that I did. See if there's any benefit to having the towers. I mean, it's pretty flat. I have tried to bring this up, but I think I'm going to do it when I'm going to set the crossover to 100 because that's where I usually have it, and then I'll try to EQ it because when the crossover might just mess with it enough that I'm not going to be able to lift this much at all. And I don't, even with the PB-3000s alone, which is the blue line, I could not lift it much after EQ, so I might just stay like that. I mean, with the super towers, this area is a bit higher, so I think I'm gonna just leave everything connected. Cool. So now I'll go ahead and set the crossover to 100 and try to do something about this area. I set the, like I said earlier, I set the crossover to 100 Hertz. So that is going to mess with this area no matter what I do, but I'm giving it a shot. So I set it to 85 Hertz, and I'm going to give it a boost of 6 dB here to see if I can bring it up a little bit. I don't think it's going to be able to do anything, but we'll see. And I changed the in frequency to 120 Hertz. It might be an issue with the crossover here. I think it just starts to bring it down, and I have to set it to 100 because in my receiver, the LFE channel, there's no independent LFE channel hertz like setting. It's kind of like the crossover that you set the subwoofer at is the crossover for the LFE channel as well. It's not. So in a lot of receivers, you can just set the LFE channel independently and set like each like the subs or the mains and set that crossover like different separately. But in this receiver, it's kind of like LFE plus low pass, so it's like 2 in 1. So low pass meaning like the point in which, let's say the surround sounds, let's say I have them set at 100 Hertz, or in this case, these are just, it's either small or large in this receiver. In some receivers, you can actually set the crossover point, let's say 100 Hertz, but these, it's kind of universal. So so if I set that crossover at 100 Hertz, the low pass, any speaker set to small is just going to, anything below 100 is just going to be sent to the subs. But if you have it sent to large, it's gonna run full range. But there's, like I said, no independent LFE crossover. So that's why I don't want to set the crossover higher, because you should set your LFE crossover, at least 120. Some people say 150 Hertz. Because that is an independent channel of content. Look, all right, I think I'm going to leave it here. I think it looks good, and I did what I could. This little this little peak here, I don't think I can do much about it. And it's not too bad. It's within, let me see, so this is like, that's 102, 109, so that's 7 dB. It should be within 5, and that's 95. 95 to 108. So it's, yeah, it's about 12 dB. That's not ideal, but I can't, even with the PB-3000s alone, I couldn't do much of anything about this dip, as you can see here. So let me I could bring it up a bit, but there was always kind of like a valley here. But yeah, the PB-3000s alone did EQ a lot better, but I could not. So alone they were at about, let's see, that's about 97 and the peak of 106, so about 10 dB. So it's about, you know, 2 or 3 dB worse with everything together. So I'm pleased. I mean, it is certainly a much more powerful system now, just to take advantage of all the subs. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks.